Good evening. Coming up tonight, the city of Columbia has altered its mask mandate. Find out what the changes are.
The Carolina Hoops legend has passed away. Stay tuned for the details.
And finally, an interesting combination for a brew pub on St. Paddy's Day. Stick around to find out more.
All of that and more tonight on SGTV Nightly News.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse studio, this is SGTV Nightly News. Good evening, Carolina. I'm Finn Carlin.
And I'm Will Kronsberg. Thanks for joining us tonight.
As neighboring states like Texas and Mississippi have lifted their mask ordinances, South Carolina has not been so quick to make that call, or at least not locally. The Columbia City Council has now extended the existing mask ordinance for another 60 days, setting it to end on May 15th. There have been no additional measures being put in place to make this ordinance any stricter, but the City Council says that it can lift the mandate whenever it wishes, so long as the data would approve that choice.
2 additional South Carolina men have been arrested in connection to the January 6th riots at the Capitol. Elias Irizarry of Rock Hill and Elliot Bashai of Fort Mill were both identified to be in the Capitol that day, carrying large pipes around the buildings as they took selfies. While Bashai is a student out of state, Irizarry is a second semester freshman cadet at the Citadel in Charleston studying political science. Irizarry is the son of actor Vincent Irizarry, who most famously played David Hayward on All My Children.
COVID vaccinations may soon be available for the whole family. Moderna has announced plans to begin clinical trials of its vaccine with children under the age of 12 to determine best dosages for younger age groups. Both Pfizer and Moderna have slowly begun incorporating children ages 12 to 15 into testing, but Moderna will now begin testing with close to 7,000 kids ranging from 6 months to 11 years old. President Biden announced last week a directive for each state to make the vaccine available to all residents 16 and up by May 1st.
If you're a student like me and feel exhausted from all of your classwork, then Friday might be the perfect time to just relax and take a nap. This Friday is World Sleeping Day, giving you the best excuse to catch up on some much needed rest and take care of your health. A school year defined by the pandemic has put limits on students having the ability to get out of the house and take some breaks, putting more pressure on them to do more schoolwork and have less sleep. According to the American Sleep Association, not having that 6 to 8 hours of shut-eye regularly can lead to lack of attention, hunger, depression, and even diabetes. So be sure to hit that snooze button this Friday morning for a better mind and body. Now, Finn, I will be here doing Friday Morning Live on Friday morning, so I cannot hit that snooze button, but I hope everybody else takes advantage.
Well, I salute you, Will, for doing that. And I mean, even if it's not just catching up on sleep, I think that all of us can agree that burnout is real, especially since last year we would all be home right now. So really prioritizing taking care of yourself, practicing self-care, making sure to not only catch up on sleep, but to take care of your mental health is extremely important during this time as we are finishing out the rest of the semester.
Absolutely.
Well, coming up, we have the latest on Carolina sports from our sports anchor, Brianna Walton, so stick with us.
Welcome back, everyone. University of South Carolina legend has sadly passed away. News 4 sports anchor Brianna Walton is here to give us the details. Brianna?
Sad news today, as South Carolina Basketball Hall of Famer Art Wisniewski has died at the age of 81. He passed away Tuesday after a long battle with an unknown illness. Wisniewski played at UFSC from 1959 to 1962 and was a 3-time All-Atlantic Coast Conference selection. He was inducted into the Gamecocks Hall of Fame in 2001 and was later on in 2016. He was inducted into South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame. Not only will he be remembered for his performances on the court, but also by who he was off the court. After his time in the NBA, Art Wisniewski used his knowledge of basketball and coached youth travel teams around South Carolina and was the grandfather of Masters champion Dustin Johnson. After getting swept by Arkansas this weekend, the South Carolina softball team bounced back and swept Gardner-Webb in a doubleheader. It only took 10 total innings to knock off the Bulldogs in the 2 games. In the first game, South Carolina defeated Gardner-Webb in 5 innings by a final score of 12-4. The dynamic duo of Mackenzie Bozo and Kenzie McGuire led the Gamecocks with 5 RBIs and going 5 for 7 at the plate combined. In the second game, it would be Cassidy Crupitt who led the Gamecocks to an 8-0 victory. Crupitt hit a grand slam over the center field wall in the bottom of the fourth. The Gamecocks' next game is this Saturday against the 24th ranked Knights of UCF. First pitch is at 2 p.m. right here in Columbia. That's what's happening for Columbia Sports. Back to you, Will.
Thank you, Brianna. Coming up, we have the latest on all things Columbia and Gamecock entertainment, so don't go away.
Welcome back, Carolina. We now have local holiday-themed celebrations you don't want to miss, and the truth behind St. Patrick's Day's color of green. Here to give you the latest are News 4 entertainment reporters Marissa Giray and Alona Donovan.
Thank you, Finn. Today's Women's History Month fact takes us back to the 1920s in Ireland when Lady Mary Heath founded the Women's Amateur Athletic Association and wrote the book Athletics for Women and Girls, How to Be an Athlete and Why. She is known for being the first woman to complete a parachute jump, which apparently landed in the middle of a football game, and was also the first person to fly from Cape Town to London in an open cockpit plane.
Wow, she sounds like a pretty impressive woman. I'm definitely gonna have to check out her book soon, especially as a female athlete myself.
Yes, definitely. And here's something else that will keep everyone healthy is if you love yoga and beer, make sure to get over to Crafty Draft tonight. This brew pub is holding St. Patrick's Day themed beer yoga from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Everyone who participates will receive 10% off their beer and food tab for the night. You should wear green and bring your own mat. Something else you could do tonight is get ready for some St. Patrick's Day karaoke at Zeddy's Party Shop and Bar in Lexington, South Carolina. The event will be held from 4 to 8 p.m. and the attendance is free. There will also be a Hippie Chicks food truck for when you get hungry after belting out all those jams from your favorite hard rock Irish band.
Wow, I really wish that I could go, but unfortunately I have homework to do. Do you know anyone that's going?
Yes, actually a lot of my friends are going, but I wish I could go as well, but I actually have a test due, which is not the St. Patrick's Day vibe.
I hate to ruin your vibe even more, but did you know that green wasn't always the official color of St. Patrick's Day? We all might be wearing blue right now if it weren't for the Irish Rebellion. In the 16th century, the King of England, Henry VIII, decided to declare himself the King of Ireland. When making the announcement, he had a coat of arms that featured the color blue, making it the so-called color of Ireland. The holiday made the switch to green when there was increasing division between British royalty and the Irish people in the late 19th century. The Irish adopted the color green to distinguish themselves from the monarchy. They even used shamrocks as their symbol. Although the color green is dominant, members of Ireland's St. Patrick's Cathedral Choir still wear blue on their robes to honor history. But hey, green and blue are better colors than orange and purple.
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. So that's so interesting that blue could have been the color of St. Patrick's Day, considering I feel like a lot of people's favorite color is blue.
Yeah, well, my favorite color is green, so I'm glad that green gets its own special day in March. Well, that's all we have for you. Back to you guys.
Wow, Will, imagine that blue could have been the color for St. Patrick's Day instead of green. Now, if someone tries to pinch me on my way back home, I actually have an excuse now, but you, on the other hand, you might have to be careful because you kind of got like a black and gray thing going on here.
I'm sure I have blue somewhere on my pants or something, but anyway, thank you, Marissa and Alona. Coming up after the break, meteorologist Caden Dinkins will let you know what to expect for this week's forecast, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kaden Dinkins with your news tonight. So let's start off with the weather headlines for this week. So starting tonight, there is a chance of showers, but moving on to tomorrow, we do have a very severe storms coming up. We'll talk about those a little later on in depth. And starting Friday, it starts to cool down just a little bit, but then hopefully we can see a clear and cool weekend moving on. The state highs for today were around the high 60s in the Columbia, Orangeburg, and Aiken area, 55 in Florence and Sumter, 66 in Charleston and Hilton Head, and then a low of 59 in Myrtle Beach, or a high of 59 in Myrtle Beach, but it's a little bit lower than Charleston and Hilton Head. Moving up into the upstate in Greenville and Greenwood is also 55, as well as Rock Hill. So we also have this little curve right here that is all 55s. Now, weather this week, so Thursday, that is tomorrow, we do have some severe thunderstorms. That is, the Storm Prediction Center has labeled South Carolina as a moderate risk for severe weather. weather. That means we will have hail, thunderstorms, and possible tornadoes. So that means everyone should please be safe going around tomorrow and make sure you are prepared for anything that can come our way. Now moving on to Friday, like I said earlier, we see that temperature drop just a little bit on Friday from 77 on Thursday to 65 on Friday. And now moving on to Saturday, we have mostly sunny with a high of 56, which is lower than Friday as 65, and a low of 36 on Saturday. We have partly cloudy on Sunday with a high of 60 and a low of 39. Monday it is sunny with a high of 67 and a low of 43, and then Tuesday is mostly cloudy with a high of 71 and a low of 50. I want to talk a little bit more about Thursday. We'll see those storms move in early. So late afternoon, early evening, and those will stay just for a little while and be done by 9 p.m. Moving on to right now in Columbia, South Carolina, it is 62. It feels like 62. The winds are moving east at 3 miles per hour. There is a 75% humidity, which comes along with that spotty rain we're seeing. And that will be all I have for you tonight. Well, make sure to stay tuned for tonight's edition of Carolina K9s.
And finally tonight's Wolfy Wednesday features Roscoe, sent in by one of our very own nightly news producers, Wade Rainey. Roscoe is an 8-year-old Shih Tzu poodle mix who loves walks, barking at the UPS truck, eating snacks, and of course, belly rubs. Now, I love that little blue bandana that he was wearing. He was already cute before, but that really tied it together. And I actually, on my way here, I saw somebody carrying around a small Shih Tzu puppy in a blanket, and it was just the most adorable thing. Just made my heart melt before doing nightly news.
Absolutely, and like Roscoe, I think we all kind of love snacks and maybe even barking at the UPS truck.
I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't know. So we'll have to talk about that after the show, Will.
Well, that's all we have for tonight's edition of SGTV Nightly News.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SGTV@USC. To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV Nightly News, I'm Finn Carlin.
And I'm Will Kronsberg. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, forever to be.